Today's topic is slaughter and dressing of food animals. Earlier we have already discussed details about the abattoir and the transportation and welfare of animals. In the lecture 3 I have discussed about the operations and management of abattoir, where briefly I have mentioned about the slaughter procedures, but the discussion was for the requirements of facilities for different operations. Now we are going to talk in more details about the slaughter and dressing of food animals, but together it's a very long topic. That's why it is split into two lectures. The today's lecture will be only on slaughter, that is about the killing of animals either with stunning or without stunning. Then in the next lecture exclusively I will discuss about the dressing operations. Here first I want to give an overall picture about the whole process of slaughter and dressing, and it is almost similar in case of large animal and small animal, that is cattle and sheep and goat. You can see this flow chart. There is receiving and holding after the arrival of the animals through transportation. Then there is a ante-mortem inspection. After that, next day there will be stunning, that is by different method I am going to discuss later. Then there is actual killing by sticking or bleeding, which may take 6 to 8 minutes. After that, removal of the hide, which is also called dehiding or flaying. After that, removal of the head. Then removal of the organs, that is called evisceration, and these organs are taken separately and the edible organs are chilled and stored for distribution. Then after evisceration there is post-mortem inspection. After that there is splitting and halving, that is in case of large animals, not in case of sheep and goat. After that there is final washing and chilling of carcass for further use. So this is an overall picture of the whole process, of which today I am going to discuss only up to the bleeding. So this lecture is covering the slaughter and dressing of both cattle, sheep, goat, pig and poultry, all the food animals, but restricting up to the slaughter. So here is the overall flow of slaughter and dressing in case of pig and poultry, which is very much different from the cattle or sheep, goat. So here again there is holding, ante-mortem inspection, then washing. Washing is more required in case of pigs because they are very dirty. After that there is stunning, bleeding. Then there is a new process called scalding, that is dipping the pig or poultry in hot water to remove the hairs or feathers. So in case of pig and poultry the skin is not removed, so only the hair or the feather is removed. So scalding is a process of putting in hot water. After that scraping or defeathering in case of poultry. Then there is a singeing, that is a burning practice for removing the residual hair or feathers. After that in case of pig there is a shaving, that is to remove the burnt residue and make it more clean. Then there is again one more washing. Then there is decapitation, that is removal of the head. After that opening the abdominal area and removal of the organs, that is evisceration. After that there is post-mortem inspection. Then there is halving in case of pig only, and then there is a final washing and it goes for chilling. So in previously I have already discussed about the whole process of slaughter and dressing in case of cattle, sheep, goat, and separately in case of pig and poultry. Now we will focus only up to slaughter, that is up to the bleeding in today's lecture, and in the next lecture we will discuss the rest of the dressing procedures to make it short. So now we are going to see about the methods of slaughter. There are basically two methods. One is human slaughter, another is ritual method of slaughter. So human method means the animals are killed without pain, suffering or distress by making them unconscious prior to slaughter. So this process of making the animal unconscious is called stunning, which we are going to discuss thoroughly later. And the other method is ritual slaughter. So this is the slaughtering of food animals as per religious or community rites. So there are different religious specification about the slaughter which has to be followed as per the religion. So such methods are called ritual slaughter. There are, in this case, ritual slaughter, the animals are slaughtered in conscious state. So there are three important things which we are going to discuss: the practice of ritual slaughter as per Jewish method, as per halal Muslim practice, and Jhatka, mostly Sikhs and Hindu practice. Now we will mainly discuss about the ritual method of slaughter, in which one of the most common and old practice is Jewish slaughter as per the Jewish procedure. Here the whole process of slaughter is called sesita, is an act of slaughter in Jewish method. And the saseth is the person who does the slaughter, and here he slaughters the fully conscious and healthy animal with a single deliberate swift action of a razor sharp knife. So in this case, healthy animal is indicated, means the animal should be inspected and it should be free from any disease, and only the live animal should be slaughtered. All the soft structures anterior to the cervical spine are severed, including the carotid arteries and jugular vein. Here there is 5 rules, that is, neck incision shall be completed without pause, pressure, stabbing, slanting or tearing. And this whole process of slaughter is assisted by a sealer or somer, and who also puts the stamp or seal of kosher mark at the brisket and on the edible offals. So in continuation to Jewish slaughter, the meat which is fit for Jewish consumption is called kosher. So when the slaughter is done as per the requirement and it fulfills all the requirement, then it is called kosher meat. Whereas when it is unfit for Jewish consumption for any reason, then it is called terefa. Slaughtering of pigs by Jews is strictly prohibited, and there are 2 important processes in the slaughter. That is, one is called searching. That is a post-mortem examination by inserting the arm to detect any adhesions in the thoracic cavity. So this can be called as a kind of post-mortem examination also. And there is another one that is called purging, where major blood vessels like jugular veins and carotid arteries cut and removed from the meat. Particularly from the posterior part, there are a lot of large blood vessels which are prohibited from eating as per the Jewish practice. So this process is called purging. Here is another method of ritual slaughter, that is halal or Muslim method. The Islamic authority or muftis decides some of the details as per the Islamic law or Sharia. The Quran describes the procedure of slaughter by cutting the carotid artery and jugular vein. The neck of the animal is extended and large blood vessels are severed with a long and sharp knife by mullah after telling a prayer. After the cut, the butcher forcibly bends the head backwards to put an end to the convulsive movements. In this case, the bleeding is better as the spinal cord remain intact, and hence the heart and lungs remain functional for some more time. So the bleeding is more or better in this method. This is another method of ritual slaughter, that is Jhatka method, which is followed in the religion of Sikh and also for Hinduism. Here the animal is made to stand in position, preferably with its neck in a forked stand or sometimes tied with some kind of support. A good aim is taken and head is chopped up with one big blow of a axe or sword. Since the spinal cord is completely separated, it does not bring complete bleeding. So in single stroke, the complete head is separated by cutting through the neck. So this sometimes causes very quick slaughter or death, but the bleeding is comparatively less. But here the live animal is slaughtered, though there is no stunning, but the feeling of pain is not much felt because it is done in a single stroke instantly. Now we will discuss about human slaughter, that is slaughter with humanity, that is the slaughter without cruelty. So basically here is two important activity. One is stunning, that is to make the animal unconscious by different methods which we are going to discuss later, and after the stunning immediately the animal is killed by sticking or by bleeding. The details procedure, as I have discussed at the beginning, here it is represented diagrammatically. There is stunning, then suspension and bleeding, and after that removing the head and skin, and then it goes for chilling. Stunning, that is the method of making the animal unconscious, particularly before slaughter. So most countries have legislation requiring animals are rendered unconscious prior to bleeding or slaughter. In India also we have an act for this, that is called Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, revised in 1972. But exceptions are made for ritual slaughter provided the slaughter method is human. So this act has exception for ritual method, which I have discussed previously. The stunning also makes sticking, that is the cutting of the throat, less hazardous for the operator. Because the animal is unconscious, it is very easy to do the bleeding or sticking because animal will not be able to give any resistance. So it is helpful for restraining the animal during slaughter. The animal must be unconscious long enough for sticking and for brain death. So whatever method of stunning is used, it should have sufficient duration for finishing the sticking and for the brain death. The stunning is done by three methods. One is mechanical, another is electrical, and the another one is chemical or gaseous, as mentioned in the previous slide. Now first we will discuss about the mechanical method. This is basically some kind of modified guns. So they are of three types, that is captive bolt pistol, percussion stunner, or free bullets. So first we will discuss about this captive bolt pistol. This is a penetrative type of captive bolt pistol which produces immediate insensibility by destruction of the cortex, changes in intracranial pressure, and the sudden jerk produces acceleration concussion. So due to the sudden penetration of the bolt, it causes a disturbance in the cranial pressure and leading to a condition of concussion, and it becomes unconscious. The velocity and speed of the bolt is very important rather than the penetration of the brain by this bolt. The bolt is driven by explosive cartridge or sometime by compressed air, that is called pneumatic stunner. A velocity of 76 to 91 miles per second of captive bolt pistol is necessary for effective stunning. As I said, the captive bolt pistol, which has got a bolt which goes after firing and hit the brain, goes inside and then it comes back. That is how it is called captive bolt pistol. Now we should know where is the correct place to apply this. That is the point of application. In case of cattle, the correct point is middle of forehead. That is the intersection of two imaginary lines from the medial canthus of each eye to the base of the opposite horn. That is as drawn in the picture below. We can make, here it is 3 lines, but 2 lines is enough from inner canthus of both eye to the opposite base of the horn. So that intersection point is the right point. In the right side picture you can see another one, that is a non-penetrative type or percussion type stunner, which I am going to explain next. And in case of bull and old cows, the pistol is placed 13 millimeter aside from the ridge on the center of the forehead. Here we will see the point of application in case of sheep and goat. So in case of sheep and goat, it could be with horn or without horn. So if it is hornless, pistol is placed on top of the forehead and aimed towards the gullet, that is the pharynx you can say. And in case of horned sheep and goat, the pistol is placed behind the ridge between the horns. In case of pigs, pistol is placed about 2.5 centimeter above the level of the eyes and fired upwards into the cranial cavity. So in the diagram it is clearly indicated what is the right place for placing the pistol for stunning purpose, either it is penetrative or non-penetrative. As I said previously, there is non-penetrative mechanical stunning apparatus which is also called percussion stunners. So these are having a mushroom head bolts and sometimes used in calves where the brains are collected for edible purpose. When we use a penetrative type of stunning, it directly goes inside the brain and causes a damage. Sometimes it is not taken suitable for edible purpose. So that's why the non-penetrative or percussive stunners are used. Here a direct blow to skull is performed using a club or poleaxe. The blow must be with precision and force to smash the skull immediately, causing instant unconsciousness. In case of cattle, the aiming point is in the middle of the forehead where the skull is thinnest. In case of pigs, it has a well-developed frontal cavity, so the blow should be slightly above the eyes. Here is the third variety of mechanical device, which is a free bullets, most frequently used for horse, large bulls or boars, but generally it is not used for stunning in case of slaughter. Rather it is used sometime for killing for the purpose of euthanasia. Here the point of application is similar to captive bolt pistol stunning. In case of horses, high up in the forehead, intersection of two imaginary lines from the medial canthus of each eye to the base of the opposite ear. So in case of cattle or sheep goat, it is the base of the horn. Here it is base of the ear we have to take, and the intersection point is suitable for firing the free bullets. Particularly these are used for euthanasia. So the another method for stunning is electrical method, where the low level current is passed to the brain and the animal become unconscious by the light level of shock through electricity. So electrical stunning mainly is used for poultry, pigs and sheep, but nowadays it is also used in case of cattle or large animals. Here an alternating current of 50 to 60 hertz and 150 to 750 volt is passed through the brain or heart of the animals with an instrument resembling a pair of tongs, or sometimes it is called as L-thrust apparatus. The position of electrode. The ideal position for electrode for pigs and sheep is between the eyes and the base of the ears on each side. This is referred as head only stunning. So there is another one which is called head to back stunning. There the current flows both through the brain and the rest of the body through the heart. The extra electrodes in this stunning usually placed on the back. That's why it is called head to back stunning. In continuation to electrical stunning, so generally it is used in low voltage and high voltage. For cattle, sheep, goat and pig, the normal voltage used is 75 volt in case of low voltage stunning, and the time of application should not be less than 7 seconds. In case of high voltage system, a 300 volt is used and it can be used with the application time of 2 to 3 seconds. In order to get a better contact, the electrodes are immersed in a saline solution before use. So this is for better conductivity. The electrodes are dipped in saline solution and then it is applied. Because the presence of thick hair, there is a poor conductivity of electricity. So this saline water improves the conductivity and make better efficiency of stunning. In the bottom two pictures, it is showing the electrical stunning in pigs, and in the right side stunning in sheep and goat. So this is the look of the L-thrust apparatus, like looking like a pair of tongs, which I explained earlier. Electrical stunning in poultry. For poultry, Water bath electrical stunning is commonly practiced with 70 volt for 5 seconds. The water bath stunner consists of an open top tank of water through which the birds are drawn, dipping the head as they are conveyed along the overhead line on the shank through shackle. So the birds are moving through the overhead line and the head will dip into the water bath which is electrified, and that gets stunned, and further it goes for the bleeding. One of the limitations of this method is that it does not cater for all sizes of bird. When the birds are bigger or smaller, there is a problem because the water bath height is fixed with the conveyor. Now if the birds are bigger, then it is still okay, but if the birds are smaller, then it will not touch the water and it won't get properly stunned. That's the only limitation for this method. The bottom, you can see the left side, the electrical water bath picture showing the birds moving and the head is touching the water, and in the right side, that is handheld electrical stunning. Of course, it is not very suitable for large number or large factory for processing of birds. Now the third method of stunning, that is the gaseous stunning, or sometimes called chemical stunning, because the carbon dioxide is used. So here the stunning is done by exposure to 70% of carbon dioxide gas in air or with inert gas like argon. This method is most commonly employed for pigs, or most suitable for pigs. One of the reasons is because the pigs has the habit of keeping their nose very close to the floor. And when the carbon dioxide is incorporated heavily in the air, so carbon dioxide being very heavy in nature or in density, it remains very high at the bottom part of the room. So that's how it is more suitable for pigs. Of course, it can be employed for other animals also. Carbon dioxide form carbonic acid when it dissolved in the blood and reduces the pH of the cerebrospinal fluid. So this is the mechanism. The acidification disrupts brain function and the animal loses consciousness when the pH falls below 7.1. If the exposure period exceeds 45 seconds, it may cause cardiac arrest. So the pigs get unconscious within 20 to 25 seconds of exposure, and if not bled within 90 seconds, they regain consciousness. So the maximum period of exposure is 45 seconds and the animal should be bleeded within 90 seconds, otherwise it may regain consciousness. So here I will explain little bit more details about the application of gaseous stunning. Of course, it is little bit of costly affairs. It needs more investment for infrastructure and arrangement, and that's why it is suitable for more number. Generally, it is applied by 3 different methods. The first one is oval tunnel system. So here there is a tunnel from one side with a curve downwards and coming up the other side. It is used for higher throughputs up to 140 pigs per hour. A conveyor carries the pigs through an oval tunnel sloping at an angle of 30 degrees to the gas chamber. So at the center below there is a gas chamber. After that it stays there for 30 to 40 seconds and then it comes out in the other side in that oval tunnel, and immediately once it comes out it is taken for bleeding. Pigs up to 113 kg can be handled in this equipment but not suitable for other species. The second method is deep lift system. It is just like the lift we use in big buildings for going up and down. It is suitable for small throughputs and can take any size of pigs as well as calves and sheep. Here the animal enter into it, descend vertically to the carbon dioxide pit and then automatically returns to the ground level. So the time is fixed. At the bottom there is the carbon dioxide chamber. Animal is loaded, it goes down and comes out. By that time it will be stunned and it will be taken for bleeding. The third variety is the Ferris wheel system. It is just like the big giant wheel we use for amusement park. It is a vertically revolving apparatus with 3 arms attached with a compartments each. It operates in such a way that when one section is submerged in the gas chamber, the other 2 are in either side for loading and unloading. So there is 3 arms, 3 compartments in that hanging. In one will be at the center, which is dipped in the gas chamber. The other side one will be ready for loading, and the right side another one will be for unloading, and then it is ready for bleeding. Signs of effective stunning. So when the stunning is perfect, it shows certain typical symptoms. In case of mechanical stunning, first there is a tonic phase for 10 to 20 seconds where it immediately collapses, stopping rhythmic breathing and becoming rigid with head extended. The position of eyeball is fixed. Then there is a clonic phase where the involuntary kicking movements of legs with gradual relaxation is observed. Whereas in case of electrical stunning, it is almost similar with slight differences. Here the disruption of normal electrical activity in the brain produces a epileptiform fit, or also called electroplectic fit. Here the tonic phase about 15 to 20 seconds, animal become rigid and rhythmic breathing ceases with eyeball fixed, head extended or raised and hind legs flexing. In the clonic phase, there is kicking and pedaling movement of legs. So these are the typical signs for effective stunning. Effect of stunning on meat quality. In case of electrical stunning, delay in sticking lead to blood splashing in muscle. Sometimes it may happen in case of mechanical stunning also. So here what happens, immediately after stunning the bleeding should be done. Particularly in electrical stunning, there is a huge increase of blood pressure. So if there is a delay, it may cause rupture of the minute blood vessels inside the muscle, leading to blood splashing, or sometimes it is also called as muscle splash. In case of captive bolt pistol in pigs, it causes a lot of convulsions leading to faster pH decline and may result in PSC meat. So PSC meat I have discussed earlier. After the slaughter, there is a anaerobic glycolysis and producing the lactic acid, which leads to the pH decline, but that happens in very slow. But in this case, due to heavy convulsion, suddenly there may be pH fall quickly, and that can cause a condition called PSC meat, which I have explained earlier. In case of non-penetrative percussive stunning, it may induce intracranial hemorrhage because it is giving a huge bolt or jerk on the head or on the brain, before the brain. So sometimes there can be intracranial hemorrhage. Then electrical stunning in poultry may cause muscular hemorrhage, which I told earlier also. Peething. This is an additional practice sometime adopted after the stunning to make the animal perfectly unconscious and no reflex muscular activity. So after stunning, peething is used in adult cattle before bleeding by inserting a long thin rod into the hole made by the captive bolt pistol. That is, the penetrative stunning creates a hole to the brain. Through that, a rod is inserted towards the spinal cord. So this insertion of this rod destroys the motor center of the brain so that reflex muscular action does not occur during sticking. So though the animal is unconscious, during sticking the reflex muscular activity may cause serious disturbances. The peething rod should not be longer than 0.6 meter, though it is not commonly practiced in large modern abattoir where large number of animals are slaughtered. There the stunning itself is made perfect and followed accordingly. Sticking or bleeding. So this is the actual method of killing the animal or slaughtering the animal. So sticking refers to severing major blood vessels in the neck or thorax so the animal bleeds to death quickly. These methods are little bit different for different species. So in case of cattle, an incision is given in the jugular furrow at the base of the neck and directing the knife towards the entrance of the chest to sever the brachiocephalic trunk and anterior vena cava. So in case of cattle, mainly the jugular furrow, there is a cutting for the jugular vein and carotid arteries, and sometimes the knife is inserted and to cut the brachiocephalic trunk and anterior vena cava. In case of sheep, bleeding is usually carried out by an incision in the jugular furrows close to the head, severing both carotid arteries and jugular veins. In case of pig, knife inserted in the depression in front of sternum. Then it is pushed forward to sever the anterior vena cava at the entrance of the chest, and sometimes carotid artery and heart is also pierced. So in case of pig, it won't die quickly. So we have to pierce the heart and if possible to sever the carotid artery also. Bleeding time. This is the time required for maximum blood to let out. So normally we can get up to the 50% of the total blood present, and if that much blood we get, it is a very satisfactory, and normally our requirement is maximum blood should be out. That is the desirable condition for better quality of meat, particularly for better storage life. So bleeding time depends on the species of animal, age, stunning method and technique used for bleeding. So in case of cattle, it is about 6 to 7 minutes. In case of calf, 3 to 4 minutes. Sheep and goat, 4 to 5 minutes. Pig, 5 to 6 minutes. And poultry, 1.5 minutes. Bleeding is done by hanging from the rail and also on the floor, that is called horizontal bleeding. So bleeding on a rail, that is earlier I have discussed in lecture 3, that is on the rail dressing, where the continuously animal will be coming for bleeding immediately after the stunning. This is the most hygienic system of bleeding. The animal is shackled immediately after stunning, then hoisted onto a moving rail. The animal is stuck, that is sticking is done while being hoisted to minimize the delay after stunning. As I said previously, there should be minimum gap from stunning to sticking. So the animal is getting hoisted going upwards. At that time itself it is being sticked for bleeding. Bleeding continues until the blood flow is negligible. That is the bleeding time, as I said previously. This could be 6 to 8 minutes in case of large animal and 3 to 4 minutes in case of small animals. Horizontal bleeding. This is the bleeding done when the animal is lying on a surface. So horizontal bleeding is claimed to give faster bleeding rates and greater recovery of blood. The operation should take place on a specially designed, easily cleaned stainless steel table, which should be cleaned frequently, that is after every animal bleeding is over. And sometimes blood is used for edible purpose or for many other scientific technical purpose. So in such case, the blood must not come in contact with the table before reaching the collecting vessel. The blood should be directly collected in the collecting vessel. The arrangement and device should be made in such a way. Bleeding in case of poultry. So the common method is modified kosher, where the jugular vein is severed just below the jowls and the trachea and esophagus remain uncut. There is a manual cutting at one side of neck, usually cut one jugular vein and one carotid artery. Then there is a halal method where the halal slaughter severs all the tissues in the neck except the spinal cord. Then there is a sesita, that is the Jewish method, which is having a less extensive cut from the front of the neck and it severs both carotid arteries and one jugular vein. So continuation of bleeding of poultry. There is nowadays the modern mechanized large scale slaughter where the double-bladed automatic neck cutter usually sever the jugular veins only. Sometimes there is single-bladed automatic neck cutter which usually cut one or both ventral arteries and sometimes an external carotid artery and the spinal cord. Of all the above methods for poultry bleeding, the modified kosher slaughter is most widely used in modern processing operations. Now we are at the end of today's lecture. So let me summarize. Today's lecture is mainly on the slaughter process. So I said slaughter and dressing of food animals, but only the slaughter part is covered here. The next part about dressing I will take up in the next lecture. So in the slaughter part there is two kinds of slaughter, the ritual and the human slaughter. In the ritual I have discussed three methods as per the religion, that is the Jewish method, halal method and jhatka method. And in the human slaughter the most important is stunning. So three different methods of stunning I have discussed, that is the electrical stunning, mechanical stunning and gaseous or chemical stunning, and there are different requirements for different species I have discussed. And then we have discussed about the sticking or bleeding, that is the actual act of killing the animal by bleeding. So techniques of bleeding in different species is discussed, and finally in some techniques for bleeding of poultry also discussed. And previously I have discussed about the symptoms or signs of perfect stunning and the effect of stunning on the meat quality. So in the next lecture I will discuss details about the dressing operations, which starts with the taking down the animal and then taking up the dressing procedure.